There you go.
It's perfect.
I, I also have the option to record here, and I'm going to see how I can do this because I've never done the recording side of it yet. So, all right.
Always a first time for everything.
Yeah, gotta have that experience. So, well, let me show you. This right here, you've got to do something about your microphone, whoever that is.
Mine?
Yeah, you're twisting
Is it?
something.
Oh, I was cutting some paper.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's really high pitched. Um, but this capacitor ring that you see here has 7 field interactions, so it's equal to your 7 of your capacitor rings that you're making. Okay, and this is just one.
Okay.
All right,
So how did you get that?
I'm going to show you.
All right.
Okay, get yourself some wire. Okay,
Okay.
this is like 20 gauge wire, or this is 18 gauge wire. Just get
Yeah,
something that's easy enough for you to bend. Okay.
I gotta go. I'm going to Lowe's today to get some wire.
Do you
I
have any
just used.
wire?
No, I got little pieces and parts. I mean, I got some coils that I nano coated and didn't use. So I've been using that. Stretching them out.
Okay.
But
So you don't have any
yeah,
copper?
I got some copper wires already cut for the capacitors.
Okay. Well,
Here's
you're
one
gonna
of them.
need a little bit more wire. Okay.
Okay.
Now what we're doing here is we're just uh, have you watched any of my videos for like the Infinity Quad Core or the Trinity
No,
wire?
not yet. Not
All right.
yet. I didn't know you had any. But I
Yeah.
will check them out. Promise you.
All right. Well, they're on my the
YouTube.
Infinity Project page right now.
Okay.
But you're going to take your wire, okay? It's just a long length of wire. You're going to roll it up so that it's got 2 ends, okay? So it looks like this, all right? Got a round circle in the middle. You got one end on one side, one on the other, okay? I'm going to teach you how to count the field interactions when you're dealing with copper wire, all right?
Okay.
But the more you make this turn, all right, obviously you want to keep this wire a little bit longer when you bend it, right? We're gonna make 5, okay? I'm gonna show you. When you have these right here, don't count the end here and don't
Okay.
count this end, all right? We're going to squash this down a little bit so we can get a little bit of shape into the camera, all right? So when you count these, you're going to count the actual wires that are
Okay.
in the center, okay? So this particular one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Don't worry about the ends here being rounded and the fact that this is one wire, because when this
Okay.
is nano coated, okay, every
All
time
right.
you,
So like this.
I
So,
can't see your screen. You don't have your video on.
how do I turn it on?
There's a little camera button that you push. So that's
There we
uh
go.
that's that's how
You
you're
see?
counting the field interactions here.
Okay.
All right. So however many times you've kind of turned this around, you're either going to have one wire sticking out one end of this circle and one out the other end, or you're going to have 2 of them pointing in the same direction.
Okay.
Okay? If you have 2 of them pointing in the same direction, that means you have an even number of uh, field interactions. And if you have it pointing out this direction, okay, where there's one on each end, then that's an odd number of field interactions. Okay?
Okay.
So right now you can see that there are 5, right? We're just going to
Uh-huh.
pinch this down. We're going to use 5 because that's the number of, that's the length of wire that I cut off. But okay, and you just smash it down. Okay. I always bend over the one that's on the left hand, on my left hand side. I bend that one over. Okay. That's my source end. This is my positive end when I'm hooking it up to an electrical device.
Okay.
Okay? If it's a plasma device, then this is the negative end.
Okay.
Okay? But since everybody wants to get free electricity and do all that kind of stuff, we're going to use this end as the source end. Okay, the source of energy. And then this end right here, we're just going to bend over that end. I take a drill. Okay, I put the end of my wire, the rounded edge, or this one, okay, the one on the right hand, I put that inside the drill. All right, and then I turn around. I bend this one up. This the one that was pointing to the right.
Right.
Okay? I'm bending that one up so it doesn't get tangled in the rest of this. Okay. And then I'm going to pinch this end with the pliers. Okay.
Okay.
So when I pinch this end, that means that this end right here is going to stay still. All right. The source end, and you make all of your infinity devices this way. Okay. All the way, every time, and you won't go wrong here. All right. You make sure that this is turning to the right. Okay. You zoom or squish it down, and now you have all 5 field interactions, okay, wrapped up into this one little wire. So this is like 5 of your capacitor rings. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Now you have a positive and a negative end. Right. So you're going to, this is obviously going to be nano coated. I dip mine in the activated charcoal, the whole roll before I start making. And you'll do your wrap. Okay. You put your paper that's got your parchment paper on there, and then you put your aluminum foil, and you make it the same way. Okay.
Huh. Very nice, man.
No different as far as no different in any other way. All you're doing is adding 5 wires instead of 1. Okay. And so now you've got a positive and a negative, or an in and an out, right? So when that happens, now you can determine where you want to the direction to go. The flow of the energy is from the rounded end this way, just like if you were to make a health pin out of this.
Okay.
You know how we always bend over one end of the health pin, and then we have the point on the other side for
Yes.
what catch does. Well, now you've got 5, so you don't have to make 4 more. All right. So
I got you.
literally, it is that
So,
simple.
but if I was to do that to all of the capacitors,
Mm-hmm.
it would just make it one seriously badass system, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you see, my ultimate goal is I've already made I made 2 plasma reactors so far, and I've given one to a friend of mine that owns a store, and I was thinking, I don't know how bad the weather's gonna get, in the future,
Mm-hmm.
but if I could get enough people around my house or in this area to use the reactors long enough to nano coat all their wiring and start the process going, into the lines itself.
Mm-hmm.
That if with one of these the Q 144,
Mm-hmm.
I could pretty much, once I'm plugged into the grid, because we have 10 acres out in the Croom Forest, and I mean we're real isolated,
Mm-hmm.
secluded, and I think if I was to plug into the pole with that on the battery, the way that it's designed, it would generate enough power to keep everybody with a sufficient amount. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, what you're doing here is if you make these All right. The problem that I'm finding, or that I've been told by my higher self, with the Q reactors and the MagRab reactors and things like that, is that they're insecure. All right.
Uh-huh.
They can be hacked because when you make a MagRab unit that has got a very specific number of turns, okay, a number of coils, inner and outer, things like that, you are actually programming the universal address to your unit.
Huh.
Okay? And anybody that has that information can tap into your unit and basically give you false information if they want to. Okay? They influence the energy around you to create,
Turmoil or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
create turmoil
Insecurities,
and make you feel things that you wouldn't
like
normally feel.
like
So,
Gans would.
well, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But when you use the infinity wires like this, you saw me when I used my drill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how many twists are in here.
Right. I got you.
All right, so because I don't even know how many twists are in here, nobody knows.
Right.
Therefore, that's my security code. Okay, and for every single one that you make, they have to make one that's identical for every capacitor that you make. Okay, so if they don't make it identical, then they can't hack you. And that means the total number of twists, that means the total number of field interactions per capacitor, that means all of those little things that we take for granted now, okay,
Uh,
are trying to be taken advantage of.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, honest to God,
And I guess my job
I,
is to provide security.
yeah. Well, from what I understood, I thought Dr. Kess said that it was literally impossible to make two systems the same.
It
You know, no,
is
no
on
matter no matter how you look at it, it'll never ever be the exact same.
it is on the physical side,
Uh,
okay? But when you're putting in a very specific number of turns, you're creating a very specific magnetic energy field,
right,
magnetical
right,
energy field, okay? It's the magnetical energy field that is the hackable part when it comes to this, okay? Because that's what
right.
we're trying to open is that
Uh,
magnetical energy field. Um, and sure, physically you can't replicate it, but if you put, 81 turns on, one coil and 144 turns on another coil, that's still a galactic address.
right, right, right.
Okay, and that's the problem with it. And Mr. Kess has a
Yeah.
great message, but there's a lot of fishy things going on right now, and it's not for the best interest of humanity. In some of it,
Can you see that?
I can see it.
I made two tents, as Dr. Kesh said. I don't know how good they work. I mean, I know I started one. I used some Gans water that I have. I save everything. I never throw nothing away. But
Yeah.
anyways, I had a mixture of it, and I made the first ping pong ball and started it, and about 3 or 4 minutes into it, it seemed like the light in the room got dimmer, and then the sound got like thicker, like I don't know, more dense or something, and then I hooked in another one, and the second one I made it made my ears like I was underwater, or in real high altitude where it had that pressure in them.
Yeah,
It was
you're
kind of weird.
changing the atmospheric pressure around you.
I know, it's really interesting, man. Really, really interesting.
Your microphone keeps getting real staticky.
I'm
Um,
sorry about that.
it's fine. Can you see my unit in the back?
Yeah,
All right. I only
nice.
have I only have one thing hooked up here, and that's the one in the center. Okay,
Uh-huh.
that's my IQ. Okay, the infinity version of the Q,
Yeah.
and
I wish I could get a better look at it.
I'll show it to you in a minute. But
Okay.
you see where I'm at? I'm about 3 feet. The pin is about 3 feet from the center of this. Uh,
Nice, man.
closer to 4 feet right now. Okay. Now watch.
Nice.
You see how big my energy field is?
Yeah.
So I'm.
What do they call those pins you got?
This one is called a dual range AC voltage detector.
Okay. I'm going to get one of those today, but it's just one that beeps. It don't have a light on it.
Yeah. So now check this out.
Nice. Damn, that's pretty strong.
That's just my finger that it's picking up.
Yeah.
You see?
Nice.
But I can go and find all sorts of stuff. But that's a pretty big. I've got about a 4-foot bubble.
Hmm.
Let's see if you can see this one.
Yeah.
See how tall that bubble is? That's
Yeah.
right over the top of my maggrav unit. Now, the top is not hooked up by itself. The pyramid on top has its own reactor that I was working with. You know the little plasma globes? You know the
Sorry
little
about that.
you know the little plasma globes that when you touch the ball, the lightning bolt goes to your finger, and you
Yeah.
can mess it.
Yeah.
That's what it. Um, mine. I broke mine bringing it out to my workshop here. I broke the glass globe on the outside, and I remember thinking, well, I guess I'm not supposed to use that thing, because I just was on my way, literally taking it out of my house and bringing it in here, and I had to set it down for whatever reason, and I still had the cord in my hand, and I turned around and walked away with the cord, and it fell 4 feet and broke the glass. And
Shit.
I was like, well, that's just fantastic. I didn't
Yeah.
even get mad, but I was like, well, evidently I'm not supposed to use that. And my whole intent was to bring it out here. I was going to wrap a nano-coated copper wire around the top of the globe and then have a little lead come off, because that lead will create a spark, okay? And it creates a plasma. Well, when you take that plasma that's on there, when you get that little spark that comes from there, it actually blocks radio signals,
Yeah.
okay? So, like
That's
when
what this is supposed to do. That's what the ping pong ball on the fan is supposed to do.
yeah, it absorbs it,
Yeah.
okay? Let me show you an example of how it absorbs it, okay?
Wow. Wow.
See how it's absorbing the energy field?
Yeah.
All right.
Amazing.
So you tell me, does it work?
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man.
And when you get
Nice.
close enough, it'll pull all of the energy away from this device. See, I'm not even touching it, and it's still absorbing the energy before it gets to the pin.
Wow.
Okay. So, if you wear any kind of nano-coated jewelry or a bracelet or something to that aspect, you're absorbing all of these energy fields.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, let me ask you something. Okay, I I took some GANs and I took my zinc GANs, the CO2 GANs, the iron GANs, the copper GANs,
Mm-hmm.
and I put them in pill bottles with a little bit of graphene solution that I had just made. Well, I let the acetone evaporate off so where it would reduce itself, but um I put that in the bottles and then I stuck a nano coated wire in there and then a regular copper wire on the other side. And for like 2 days they seemed to hold the charge, and it seemed like they were almost charging themselves. And then I hooked them all together and screwed it all up.
Well, you know, it's called um, experiments for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the real learning ability here is to figure out why it stopped working.
Right.
You know, and you don't have to start it over completely. You just need to reverse. You know,
All right.
take,
Well,
take it apart. Continues to
I
work
got
like
all these
what you want.
I got all these bottles that I made. Some are just graphene, and some are the zinc and graphene mix, and then just the plain GANs. And
What do you
but
call graphene? Because you were talking about
graphene is it's a one layer atom. That's what the nano coating is on the copper wire. It's graphene. You
right.
know,
You
well,
were just talking about acetone.
yeah. I take a blender. I make my own reduced graphene oxide. I take a blender and I put 2/3 acetone, 1/3 water, denature. I mean, purified water,
Mhm.
and about a quarter of a tablespoon of some fine grade graphite, and seal the top and crank the blender on and let it go for about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then take the lid off and let it reduce, and it's perfect graphene oxide.
Nice. I use when I make graphite GANs,
Mm-hmm.
um, just using carpenter pencil lead,
Mm-hmm.
and I use them as electrodes. Put them
Mm-hmm.
on either side of my salt water with CO2, and then I put like a 6-volt battery. Use them as an electrode, and then it creates uh, graphite GANs.
Mm.
Um, if you're going to make it that way, then you have to do it in an open area because it releases ammonia, I think.
Yeah.
And when, ammonia can be toxic when it's in
Yeah.
concentration. So always use ventilation. Um, but
Yeah.
that's how I make mine. And anything
Mm-hmm.
and everything that I dip into that liquid
Mm-hmm.
comes nano coated, and
Yeah.
it'll dry that way because of it's kind of oily.
Mm-hmm.
It feels oily, but it's just graphy. It's
Yeah.
just graphite. It's just like that spray that you can use for graphite lube or whatever. But when you make the GANs, it becomes a superconductor.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's what this is.
yeah.
But uh, yeah, I've got quite a few experiments going. I got let me turn it on. I got some plants going with I put uh zinc GANs and see that in the soil to treat them. And there's tomato plants and some wacky tobacco.
Nice.
But I got some ivy and cactuses in
I
it
got
just to see
I got
how they
seven
grow.
I got 7.5 pounds out of one plant.
No way, man.
Yeah. That was using uh, the CO2 spray. Okay, the energized water.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
you can still see the GANs floating on the bottom here.
yeah.
Kind of floating
Nice,
around.
nice.
I fill this bottle up. You can see the spray bottle is cut. The plastic hose is cut. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then it allows like I haven't
To
filled this one up.
begins to settle.
Yeah, but once I fill
Yeah,
this up, it'll mix it all up and it charges the water. And then all of that stuff settles down to the bottom, and I can go spray this on the plant's leaves. And
yeah. I started treating my yard with it,
yeah,
trying to
so
grow
like,
some grass. I got a horse that loves to eat.
I've just I planted. I got a whole plot out here that I planted from seed for grass. Uh, I started half of it is like a food plot for deer, that kind of grass.
Yeah.
And then I bought some Oregon grass.
Like alfalfa?
Yeah, but it's not alfalfa. It's just more of a mixture. It's got some clover and some grass and stuff like that. You're supposedly be able to throw it out someplace out in the wild and, you know, make yourself a deer plot. But I did that, and I've got it sitting out there because I've got to test this the saltwater, the GANS water, the GANS of salt water. Okay, when you make the seawater caustic and or the seawater GANS, the leftover seawater that's on top after you make the GANS, you collect that, you save it, and you take like a gallon of that, okay, of that salt water, and you can mix it with like 300 gallons of fresh water.
Well, let me show you something.
And then
I got my
that salt water like that. Okay, it acts like Epsom salts. You know, when you're feeding the water or feeding your plants, it acts like Epsom salt. And as long as it's not super salty, it won't kill anything. So that's why I suggested a gallon of this salt water with like 300 gallons of fresh water.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got quite the setup out there.
Well, I mean, dude, I put everything together, you know. This is what I do. It's what I love, man. Dr. Kesh is like God to me, man. You know, I mean, really, he was a miracle in timing and everything. I just,
Well,
I can't believe it, you know.
when you know how to utilize the cause and effect, you can effectively predict the future.
Yeah, man.
You know, he's got a great message. He always has. You know, I'm just not fond of the business practices, and you know, there's still some fishy things going on right now that I'm got to work out. So, you know, I still love him. I love all the knowledge seekers, and you know, do all that kind of stuff. But just don't have time to. I don't have time to chase their tails anymore. You know, I'm bored with it. So all I'm doing is taking this stuff and making it simpler for everybody else.
Hey, man, let me ask you something. I want to get, okay, I'm going to get wired today, and I'm going to get me 2 spools, so I should be able to make 5 reactors. And I know Dr. Kesh was talking about the spaceship, right? Well, with the star formation, does it creates center fusion, right? Where it all the fields come together and then it materializes in, like, makes the skin of the ship?
You have to put 3 reactors together. Okay.
Right.
You got the tips of my fingers would be where the reactors are. Okay.
Right.
All right.
In pyramid.
Yeah, in the pyramid form. So you've got the 3 reactors on one point of a triangle. Then you've got 3 reactors on another point of a triangle, and 3 reactors on another point. Okay. It's misleading the way he talks because it's the multiple field interactions that's going to create matter. Okay.
Right.
A lot of people are under the assumption that they only need to make 1 reactor for the 3 points on the triangle and then 1 over the top. Okay.
Right.
Well, when he was trying to explain it, he said that you need the 3 different types of GANs: matter, dried GANs, wet GANs, and nano GANs, right? Well, that gives you your 3 different field interactions that you're looking for. Well, people stop.
Physical, emotional, and
well, they stopped doing that, and they stopped remembering that you need 3 field interactions at each point. Okay. When you make these starship reactors, you got to place them. Okay. There are 42 field interactions, I believe, for the flower of life. Okay. So that's 42 spheres that are interacting, and they all have to be placed in the center of the circles. If you were to look at the flower of life, okay, at the very center of that circle, that's where your reactor would be, and then the actual circle is the field that's created. Okay, and then you see the the Vesica Pisces where it's interacting with the one that's right next to it. Well, that little shape is what you're looking for.
Right.
Okay? So when you're able to create that, you actually create plasmatic walls. Okay, and you box in the plasma. Okay, because the only thing that can hold plasma is other plasma. Okay.
Okay. If I made my coils, okay, and then I did the infinity loop and made that for my gravitational loop going inside the coil on the big coil and the small coil, would be the center wire.
Yes.
Okay, what would that like
Yes, it'll work.
it will.
That's what this is.
Huh.
All right. This is all one wire right here.
Yeah.
All right. It's made the same way I just showed you for this wire, except this one only has 4 in it. All right. And I used, I think it was 12 gauge wire or 16 gauge wire or something like that. And when I put it in the drill and I started to, before I even took it out of the drill, okay, and it was in here, I would have still had the spool connected to it. Okay. And so I would have just spun the drill and run that wire all the way down to the end. Okay. And that's all I did with this right here. All right. So now this one has an in and an out.
I can hear you. I had to get my phone charging.
Yeah. But
old lady's deaf in one ear, so she's always got the TV cranked.
well, it's loud.
Yeah.
But you've got an in and an out wire, and that's the way all infinity devices will be. Is one in and one out. Okay. That's all you got to worry about is an in and an out with infinity. So, that's why I teach it. So the simplest form, the least amount of confusion.
But okay, about this for a minute. I guess my phone's charging. I hope it is.
But I mean, like this right here is also, this is a quad core, okay? And
okay, so it still creates a gravitational and magnetic field, right?
Yeah, it's balanced, okay?
It's balanced.
It's perfect. The way it is, you can't get any more efficient than this right here, okay? There's there's stories going around right now that this is dangerous or whatever. That
Can you put it a little closer to the microphone? I mean, the camera. Thank you.
It's just a quad core,
right?
And the way it's, I've got my videos on my my Infinity Project page.
Okay, I'm gonna check them out.
Okay, but it's they're all made the same way. When I call I call it the Infinity 8, or the Infinity 12, or the Infinity 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 25, 10,000. It doesn't matter. What I'm referring to is the number of field interactions that are created when you use infinity. So that's all I ever deal with is the number of field interactions. Okay.
Yeah.
The human body has 46 chromosomes, 42 chromosomes, something like that, 44. I'm not 100% sure, but that's how many field interactions that the human body has. Okay. And then they're all combined from the glands and all of our different organs. Okay, those are all the reactors within our body. But they're all combined into the 8 chakra system that we've got. They teach 7, but they leave out the pineal gland. And
yeah, I'm on my 13th health teaching. I'm trying to catch up on it. But
it can be pretty difficult.
Yeah, but I can't remember the woman's name. Melinda or something like that. She explains everything very, very well.
Elia?
Yeah, Ellie, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, she's no longer part of the Keshe Foundation.
No?
No, that was. We'll just leave that one alone.
Yeah.
Anybody who's spiritually enlightened gets chased away from the foundation. You know, because they know too much, I guess,
Yeah.
and they can feel too much, and then become an issue. Uh, you know, I'm not. I don't teach for them because they don't share my work
Yeah.
with the public, and that's my own personal belief that this work does not and absolutely should not be withheld again, and it should not be. Um, it's not a secret. It shouldn't be
Right,
kept a
right.
secret. So, you know, my own personal morals. I don't
So,
have anything. I don't have a beef against, you know, like the Keshe Foundation or anything like
right.
that.
So, are you running your place on this the Infinity?
It's plugged in right now.
Yeah.
Mine has only been plugged in for a few days.
Yeah.
You know, like less than a week. 2 days after I plugged it in, the meter reader guy came out and, uh, you know, read my meter. I took a screenshot of my bill, and we're going to see how my next electric bill looks. You know,
Cool, man.
everybody wants proof. I already know that this unit right here, because my shed sits directly underneath some power lines,
Mhm.
okay, I'm going to do exactly what you're talking about doing.
Mhm.
Okay. As this thing builds and gets bigger, okay, as we've seen, okay,
Right.
as it's getting bigger, it's right at my back. Um, it'll encompass those power lines that are
Yeah. So it'll
above.
suck all the power from them.
No, they won't.
Oh.
It's going to give them power,
Oh, I got you. Okay. I
and
got you.
it'll start nano coating the wires um, above my shed, and it'll go this way instead of from my one point in my house out to my
Yeah.
transformer, and then, you know, from there it'll only
So
go back.
on and so forth.
Yeah. So I would much rather all of my neighbors start seeing a reduction in their electric bill than just me. Even if they
Yeah.
don't understand or know why, that's my gift to them, you know?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I've been trying to do for a long time, man.
So,
Everybody's so broke nowadays, man. Yeah, this is the economy is so bad. Sucks, bro. Everybody's got to suffer just so someone can have money, and man, I despise money. I mean,
me too.
everything to do with it. It just
I absolutely despise it, and I don't want anything to do with it. But I know that in order to fight money, you got to have money, and
well, I've
eventually,
been doing pretty good with none.
well,
I've been
I know,
scrounging by,
but that's, you know, that's on an individual basis.
yeah.
You know, this right here is my the water reactor that we're working on, and it's the centerpiece here is the positive end. Okay,
Uh-huh.
all of it is positive here. I put all the positive ends right here in the center. So if you're to think about this, okay, and move it into a 3D format, if I was to take this centerpiece and pull it up, okay, it would create a pyramid. Okay,
Uh-huh.
if I was to pull this up and make it the
Right,
peak,
right, right. Right, right.
okay,
Right.
these would be the points of the pyramid.
Right.
Okay, so with that being done, if I was to lay all of these down, okay, so that they fit in their respective spots, what do you see?
Pyramid.
A
Oh,
swastika,
yeah, that wow.
okay? And all a swastika is a pyramid that's laying flat,
Really?
okay? Yeah. if you were to take a swastika with its 4 flat edges and
Right, right,
everything, and
right.
you
Put it
pulled it up by
together,
the
it would be.
center, all those flat edges, those little flat edge, the points that come off of the swastika there, they would all join together, and you would have a pyramid. Okay. Well, all pyramids are 8-sided. Okay, or the ones that are working. So each one of these reactors would have the power of 8 in it. But
Cool.
inside, I made water molecules out of infinity.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 2 hydrogen and an oxygen atom in each one of these coils. So now I've got 4. All right, you got really high pitched stuff, man.
Sorry.
But anyway, when this fires, all 4 of these will fire at the same time. That's why I have them connected in the center. It makes it parallel instead of in series.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that all 4 of these coils will fire at the exact same time, sending an energetic field to the center, which is where this wire is.
You can have it in Gans water with salt?
No, actually, I'm just going to have it in a nano-coated bucket. But I'm going to make another one of these little devices, okay, as the centerpiece here. And it will hang down directly in the center, and I'll probably put a plastic, like a straw or something over the top of it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And the plastic will actually allow the water to condensate on its surface and then drip off. Because the plastic becomes magnetic to the water.
Oh, I got you, man. I got you. Okay.
So
I was lost there for a second.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, the plasma capacitors that we're making and the things that we need for this will all fit together, and it will give it enough power that it will produce, at the very minimum, a few drops a minute. And if you put a few drops a minute and let it drip forever, how much water do you think you can make?
Produce. Yeah, good bit. That's a
So
good idea, man. That's
this is
really cool.
This is the creation of water, or the attraction of water. And I'm going to take another one of these, just the coil themselves, and I've got a couple experiments. So I'm going to put copper tape on the inside of this bucket and nano coat it. And then I'm going to put this inside of that bucket so that it fits just perfect. Okay. And so now the walls will be nano-coated and the bottom will be nano-coated, which means that it'll have a complete plasmatic environment to hold it. And that means the water will be able to, or the energy will all be focused in the center because the bucket's round. Okay?
Awesome.
You're creating a cylinder when you nano-coat the sides. It's just like taking a copper wire, going to the inside of that copper wire and nano-coating the outer wall. That's basically what we're doing inside of this bucket. So, and then when I take this other coil, and this is what the water molecule looks like by itself. Okay. It creates, I've got 8 here for oxygen, and then I've got hydrogen, 1 here and 1 here. So I've got H2 and then O. Okay.
How do you make them big loops like that? Same way with the drill, you just
No, this one is you see?
Yeah, it's really cool, man.
All it is just taking a piece of wire and bending it around a pin.
Okay.
Alternating.
Yeah. I got you.
Over the top. Then you put a pin in front of that, and you wrap it around the pin, and you wrap the other side, and you put another pin there. I use 3 pins. Otherwise, the circles get all screwed up. But I'm going to take this, and I'm make a coil that is similar to this one. Okay. So you can see that this wire goes through the center of this coil, all right, and then it comes up and it wraps around the outside of it, all right. And so I've got an entrance, a positive, and a negative. Okay.
Hey, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
if you took okay, I noticed that with the ping pong balls on
Mhm.
the fans,
Yeah.
I noticed that that man that they produce cold air. Really, it's really cold. I
Hmm.
wonder if you did the thing with the bucket like you're talking about, and someone who was upside down on top of it with the copper lining, if it would produce the same amount of like condensation.
Um, your bucket, if it's cold, then your bucket should be metal.
Yeah.
Okay. Think of your air conditioner. Okay. All that water that your air conditioner is dripping is condensation that it's attracting.
Right. Right.
Okay. So it's pure water. It's clean. Depending on how good your air conditioning coils are. So if you had a cold environment with a warm, moist atmosphere, you put a metal bowl over the top of it, then yeah, condensation should collect on it. Okay. If you put a nano-coated container over the top of yours, then you trap whatever plasma that you're creating
Uh huh.
inside of that nano-coated material. Okay.
Hmm.
You got to think of the like a nano-coated plate as a mirror for plasma.
Right.
Okay. It'll bounce it off like a laser beam for plasma. Okay, it's the only thing that can contain plasma. Plasma can only contain plasma. And so, but what I was going to do is make a bigger coil like this, all right, and put this iron bearing in it, okay, not with that coil on it, but put this iron bearing inside, okay. I think I'm going to have to make two of these, maybe just the one,
Uh-huh.
but you put this inside of it, okay, and you put it at the bottom, and when you take that like a Tesla coil that you've made where it gives you a little spark gap, okay?
Uh-huh.
If you were to take that and put that on the end of this wire here, okay, and arc this out while it's underwater, okay, the rest of this coil is underwater,
You have ionization.
well, you should, all right, as long as this water molecule is in there, I should be
Mm-hmm.
able to program this piece of iron like a magnet to have the same frequency as that water molecule.
Hmm.
And when that happens, I will put the electric current through here, but it creates an induction field that programs this. Well, if it's programming it into an oxygen or a water molecule, then it will cause water to expand. Okay? And so the expansion of water comes from within or from the center. And so when you're expanding it, it will start to overflow. Okay? For as long as this retains its magnetism. All right? Because it's iron. Now, as we progress into the technology, we will learn that we will be able to program neodymium that way. Okay, and neodymium doesn't lose its charge, and you can actually program it for its strength, and you can put different layers and different magnetic properties to neodymium. You can program it very specifically, all that kind of stuff. So I have a feeling
Mm-hmm.
that people are going to be whoever's got neodymium factories or whatever will be able to program it by using water. And you can
Right.
take that magnet and go throw it into water, and it will expand that water. You see, you don't even have to end up using
Right.
electricity
Right.
anymore.
Right.
So I see this happening in the future. I don't know how long. My goal is to do it here soon. Um, I've just kind of slowed down a little bit because I want people to catch up, and the guys that were doing my water reactor stuff have all been they're all from different countries, so
Yeah.
they have a little bit more issues.
Shit, man, I can't get nobody to do anything where I live, man.
They don't.
Everybody's always got their hand out, or you know, I don't know, man. It's crazy.
The only way that you're going to be able to succeed in this light work right now is when people come to you.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you go, trying to to give this information to people that aren't receptive to it or aren't trying to be part
Do
of it.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they won't be receptive to it, and they'll just completely shut you down. So, you know, I learned that pretty quick, you know, because I was the guy sitting in the back of the room going, hey, I got all the answers here, man. You know, you need to listen to me. And nobody's
Yeah.
listening to me because to them, it's just a copper wire. How can you
Right.
do
Right.
that, you know?
Right.
So, you know, I've been fighting the good fight for a long time with that. And, you know, I'll continue because I know this is the correct method, and I know that this knowledge comes from divine source. So I really don't have, you know, anything else to do in my life except share this.
Rock and
Uh,
roll. That's awesome, man.
and you know, all of my stuff that I've got here, you know, will all have a purpose and I'll have a use for it. You
Yeah.
know, I've got so much nano coated stuff and things is everywhere.
Yeah. I know. Me too, man. I love it.
So
I love it. I got into nanotechnology about God 4 years ago. I was extracting precious metals out of old electronics,
right,
and I did that for about 3 years, and then all of a sudden, the guy won the Nobel Peace Prize for graphene, and it blew my mind so much. I had to know everything about it. Plus, you know, it was just discovered, so I wanted to try and find something that everyone could use really fast before someone else did, you know.
yeah.
And then so the race was on, and I swear
There is no race
I'm
because nobody can uh, patent nature. I don't care
right,
who you are, and I don't
right,
care what kind of paperwork you got.
yep.
I can,
That's so awesome.
you know, I'll take your ass to court. You know, if I can prove it.
Yeah,
I can prove how it works in um, you know, in the trees. I can tell you how it works in the plants. I can tell you how it works in the planets. I can tell you how it works in your body.
yeah,
And
awesome.
you know, let somebody try to come after me for
Some kind of bullshit, huh?
you know some patents on nature. You know, this is what I got for you. Um, you know, it's not anything else for. This is knowledge for humanity. You know,
Yeah,
and you know it doesn't belong to one person or one group of people. And then you know, for the longest time, I withheld my own knowledge basically from myself and told myself that you cannot have a device until you can teach somebody else how to do this,
yeah,
because when you're dealing with the structure of light, you are the structure of light. You're dealing with the fundamental or the principal fields of creation, you
right,
know. So it's not, you know, it's not anything to turn your nose up or you know whatever, because it's just not going to happen. You know,
right.
this is information for gods. You know, of what we call gods, and you know, I can teach it all to you in you know scientific terms if that's what you need.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
I
I
can
love it to
teach
get
it.
technical with this stuff, so where I get a better understanding. You know, I've learned so much in the last 4 years that Dr. Kesh really started putting the pieces together, man. You know, it made everything that I was doing make sense. You
Right.
know what I'm talking about? And I think you'll do the same thing, bro.
Oh yeah, it's
I really appreciate you. I really do, man. Thank you fucking for talking to me.
you're welcome. You know, I talk to a lot of people, and
Uh,
I'm not ashamed to talk to anybody. I love talking about plasma. You know.
I want you to help me make one of those capacitors real quick. I'm straightening out some copper wire.
All
I
right.
got it nano coated, but let me finish straightening it out and I'll get you to help me.
Okay. I'm going to start lining my bucket here with this copper tape.
Okay.
But yeah, if you straighten it over, bend it over in about what, however many times you can with your length of wire, and still have some Uh,
How long were you making your capacitors? About a foot?
however long you want it. How big is your ring need to be?
I have no clue. I was just I was just copying what I seen on Facebook.
You know, you
You know.
gotta.
And I watched one video. The guy said that he was making his nano coated wire. Well, his wire, the center wire. He was cutting it 12 inches long.
Yeah, you know, it depends. You know, how big is the face of your reactor? You know, this is how
Well,
big.
I'm
This is
just
how.
making a Q144.
Yeah, I understand. But you see my container, okay?
Oh, I got you. Yes. No,
Okay.
I'm gonna use this. Hold on one second.
That's what
Oh,
you gotta determine is, you know, how big is the face that you're trying to cover.
I'm gonna use this.
All right.
I got
Then
a
you want
few of
to
them.
kind of take a piece of string, make a circle with it, okay? So where it
Mm-hmm.
covers the face of that cube, one of the faces, okay?
Uh-huh.
And then you can take that string and it'll give you the length that you want your total,
I
uh,
got you. Yeah.
however long you're going to fold over. That's how long you want it
Well,
to be.
I was thinking four of them, four coils or four capacitors could go on each layer. Like four could fit on each side. You know.
What are your goals here? You just want
Um.
to help the neighbor, or you want to help you,
No. No. No.
or
No. Actually, it's it's just for the accomplishment and then to see where it leads me. You know.
all
But
right.
my
So this is
spirit,
gonna
my
take.
soul keeps pulling me to make this. So
Well,
I'm bound and determined to do it.
then you should make it. Listen
Yeah.
to your body. Listen to
Yeah.
your soul. I always promote anybody and everybody to listen to themselves because, you know, that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, this may sound a little funny, but um once I started watching Dr. Kesh's stuff and I started building my reactor, believe it or not, man, I had everything that I needed to make that reactor.
Yeah,
It took me 9 months to complete it, because I had to learn all how to produce my GANs, and I
right.
did everything in processes, so I got it really right. That way I could really, once I get it all down, and I get money where I could get supplies, I can just go do it, you know?
I understand completely.
Uh,
I I work. All of my stuff is worked off of my military pension, my
yeah,
retirement. You know, and I'm not retired as far as like full pension or anything like that, but I am retired medically,
right.
and you
Yeah,
know,
I'm disabled.
all of this. Yeah, I'm a 100% disabled veteran, so
Yeah.
that's where my shit comes from. But it's real difficult when you got a family and
Yes, I know, man. I
you
got
know.
10 acres, 5 German shepherds, and a horse, and a wife.
Yeah, sometimes the wife can be more expensive than all of those put together.
Yeah. Well, mine's really good, man. She's awesome. Here, meet Sabrina.
Hi,
Say
Sabrina.
hi, baby.
Pretty dog.
Yep, that's Copper.
I'm a pit bull fan myself.
Yeah. I love shepherds, man. They're so smart. I'm done trained almost all of them to the point of, getting their shits entitled. But
Yeah,
that's
nice.
what I do, man. I work on reactors, research, and train dogs.
Well, that's how it works. And sometimes when you learn how to do the wonderful stuff, you're going to learn how to take the plasma and turn it into food. You're going to learn how to take that
Yes,
plasma and
that's what I'm working on. A funny thing happened yesterday. I made those two ping pong balls,
hmm
and I cranked them on, and then one of the balls leaked real bad. So I took it off, and I put a ball on there that was full of mixed GANs,
Yeah.
and then cranked it on with the ball that just had the GANs water in it,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to drink out my cup of life, and it was like oil. And then I went and I have a torch, and well, my wife calls this my office, but I call it my office and lab or whatever, you know.
Right.
But I got a big propane tank and a torch where I nano coat my aluminum, and and there was oil coming out the tip of my torch,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I just used it about an hour earlier, so I can't use it no more. I don't know how that got there.
You have oil coming out of it, huh?
Yeah. It just didn't make no sense. I'm like, what the hell? And
Maybe
man, like
just
I said,
change the conditions.
I live on 10 acres out in the Croon Forest, and nobody comes over. You know.
So I live about 6 miles out of town, 7 miles out of town.
Yeah. Awesome.
I live right on a busy highway, so it's
Yeah.
noisy all the time. It's hard to teach in the mornings because it's so
The
loud.
traffic. Yeah.
I mean, all the tractor trailers driving by at 70 miles an hour.
Mm.
So it just acts funny. But yeah, it's been fun. I love this stuff. I love talking about it. I love helping people. I love that aha moment when people realize
Yeah.
they get that no shit. So, but yeah, I'm gonna nano coat this bucket here, and hopefully it'll get a good seal. I'll tell you, this is a real pain in the ass to try and get all these corners inside this bucket,
Yeah.
even with tape.
So you dip the tape in a solution.
You can, if I need to nano coat something pretty quickly,
Uh-huh.
then I will. I'll just dip it in the charcoal solution because I use the
You know you can.
charcoal with diatomaceous earth, and then I put the copper oxide GANs in there, and I mix it all together. And because there's no caustic in there, the GANs will be fine, and the nothing is going to get messed up as far as
Right.
caustic is concerned. So, yeah, it's been an easy fix for me, I guess.
Yeah.
To use the
I
charcoal.
made some Elmer's glue that I put some graphene powder in, stirred it up real good, and I was almost thinking of coating my coils with it. You know, the nano coat my coils because I've been having a really hard time getting a good nano coating. I've tried everything. I've tried burning. It seems like the gas is too good, or I just can't get a good nano coating with propane. And I tried with the caustic soda, and it didn't turn out too good. So I'm doing something not right, or I'm not using the proper. I was using sodium hydroxide. I have potassium hydroxide, but I use that for the batteries, you know, and the capacitors.
Yeah.
I don't use very much, just a touch of it. But
But the if you, for me at least, it works if I take some cold caustic and I turn around and I'll like take a washcloth or a cotton ball or something, and I'll make little circles on my plate or like the copper tape or something like that, and I'll
get out of
rub it.
there.
Okay,
Get out of there. Come on.
I'll rub it on there, and it irritates the surface of the copper, and it makes the sodium hydroxide stick. So, and it gets a nice, clean, shiny
Coating.
coating all the way around, you know. So, you know, you can see some of, like some of these. See how that's green?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I didn't do anything to this. This is just the nano coating that is applied.
I wonder if that's because it's more gravitational than magnetical.
It is
Because I know,
gravitational, but
right,
I'm absorbing or I'm attracting the GANs to the surface of the wire instead of applying like the liquid GANs to it to where it'll dry.
right.
Okay? So I mean these have been sitting for 2 or 3 months. So I mean that's not a whole lot, but it doesn't get any bigger. You know, it
Right,
doesn't.
right.
You know.
Yeah, I got some pins that look like that, but they're in a vodka plastic bottle that's got some sodium hydroxide in it. I'm trying to nano coat some wires and 3 pins, but
Mm-hmm. Well, you almost done with that wire?
yep. Okay, so here I am. Okay,
All right.
so I'm gonna.
Let me get a bigger wire to help.
So I just wrap it around, and as many times as I wrap it around is how many loops it'll be. I mean, how many?
If you were talking, I didn't hear you.
Oh, it's okay. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
Is that too many?
No. However much wire you got in there.
It might be too much wire. I want to make one, so I want to see how it works out.
There's no such thing as too much wire.
Cool.
Every bit of that wire that you've got there that's nano coated is an absorber or an antenna for energy. Okay.
Okay.
So you know you can never use too much wire unless you're just trying to conserve. Okay.
Okay.
So all you're doing is taking the wire. That's for one of my left hands would be the one that comes on full of wire. Okay. So I would bend that over. I would have it. You've already done it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Big ass wire. Okay. And you're going to bend it like this. Okay. This format will actually create the Trinity wire that I was talking about. Okay. If you smash this. Or if you make it a little bit smaller, that makes the quad core. And if you were to continue over and make 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, see a pattern? That's the way it works.
Okay. All right.
You know, that's just adding field interactions. Okay. And if you make them long enough, okay, you can take that wire that you've made 7 field interactions with. If you made it like 3 feet long, okay, after you've twisted it and everything, you could turn around and redo that same situation. Okay, make the same loop. And if you've got 7 in that first one, right? If you go make that same loop again and you squish it down and twist it, you've now got 3 times 7.
Okay.
All right, so now you've got 21 field interactions for that one wire. That's how you multiply your field interactions. Okay.
Okay, and the one wire that began it is my positive, right?
If you've got 2 open ends down there.
Yes, 2 open ends.
Okay. The opposite one, yeah, the one that goes opposite of the drill.
And you go
The one that's
clockwise or
opposite of the
counterclockwise?
drill is the clockwise. Always turn all of your devices clockwise. Okay? Every time you make it, if you make it the same exact way on every single device, you can take every single piece that you make, okay, and add it to any device because they all speak the same language. There you go.
Awesome.
Looking good.
Okay. Awesome.
And so,
And then I take I'm trying to
that open end that's in your left hand, okay, that wire, that's the positive end.
Okay.
All right, that should have a little loop on it that's closed. And now you can set down that wire anywhere you want. You can put it in storage. You can do anything you want with that wire, and you will always know that that end that you got bent over there is the positive end. Okay, so you'll never put a device in backwards.
All right.
Okay, so it looks like you did a good job, man. I promise you, it does get easier.
Yeah.
You know.
Is the opening of the out, where does it go? I'm sorry.
What do you mean? Where does
Okay.
it go?
See, I got two open ends. I got this is my positive, and then this was the negative. But this would be my out over here, right? So I just wrap this around.
No, you leave the wire out the end. Okay, you're going to connect it in series. That's your negative
Okay.
end. When you make your capacitor, you're going to have a positive and a negative end.
Right.
You know, in the Q series, they use 3 on one side with the aluminum foil, or 2 on one side with the aluminum foil, and then 3 with just the paper, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, when they do that, you're creating that battery and the capacitor. So you don't have to. You've got to connect it to the left and the right side, your positive and your negative. You got to connect them in series. So when I put mine in series, I used wire extensions is really all I used. You know?
Okay. Well, hey man, my battery's about to go dead. I gotta charge my phone.
All right.
It was nice talking to you, brother.
It was very nice. I
And
appreciate it.
I'll stay in touch. Thank you very much for all your help
All right.
tonight.
Keep in touch and let us know what's going on with your devices and stuff like that. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. I appreciate it.
All right, cool.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Are you there, Maela?
Hi, of course I'm here. Well, I have to go to a meeting, and I also.
Well, I was just wondering if you're here, so we could go ahead and end the meeting.
Yes, I was here all time, and I was about to tell you I just have to go and how should we do next, but it's perfect that way.
Outstanding. It's
Thank you
5
very
o'clock in the morning.
Here it's 1 o'clock p.m.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And, you know, as always, if you can, just, you know, post a video and
Of course,
yeah,
of course.
we'll share it.
It's on YouTube, and I'll send you the link.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you also. Bye bye.